Man, listen, do you ever read headlines of the rich and famous and ask yourself, how can I live that lifestyle on a budget? Well, this past week, Diddy's non-girlfriend, Young Miami, gifted him with a diamond chain. Also, Takeoff has an estate worth $26 million, and Kyrie Irving has a multi-million-dollar NBA contract, which may be put into jeopardy over this documentary. Creators, stay tuned. How can you translate the money that celebrities have to the money and assets that you can earn in everyday life? Welcome to my new show series, Behind the Scenes of the Rich and Famous, and how you can live a life just like them. Now, before we get started, I want you to kiss the like button with your finger and hit subscribe. Now, first up is Kyrie Irving, who is trending all across the internet because he was suspended for at least 5 games for posting a link to this documentary. Now, if you've ever done any research on Kyrie Irving's basketball contract, you will know that he gets paid approximately $380,000 per game. Well, if you take $380,000 and you multiply it by 5 games, that is a $1.9 million penalty. On top of that, his employer has stated that he must offer a $500,000 donation, $500,000, ladies and gentlemen, to the Anti-Defamation League. This brings his total economic consequence for posting that link to $2.4 million. $2.4 million, ladies and gentlemen, in losses. Now let's compare Kyrie Irving's situation to Amazon, the platform that has made this content available. I did some digging and I found out that when you post a documentary to their website as a creator, Amazon earns 50% of each purchase net profit. So considering the fact that this has been dominating headlines for at least a week or more, that means that tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people have found out about this documentary and perhaps purchased it out of curiosity to find out what anti-Semitic messages may be included in the film. This means that those streams have actually netted Amazon profit while Kyrie Irving has lost profit. Now, a tweet was released explaining that a meeting has been requested with Amazon, so discussions can take place about why they have that link on their website. But let's delve deeper into the numbers, shall we? Kyrie Irving had 1.6 million Twitter followers, and one of the biggest controversies is that by posting that link, he was promoting it to the 1.6 million people that may be influenced by them. But Amazon has 300 million active users, and as a business they promote the products and also the documentaries and films and creations that creators upload in order to make money for them and also to provide a platform for creators to make money for themselves. Now, here's the lesson here. Regardless of if you stand behind Kyrie or you stand behind the Anti-Defamation League or you stand somewhere in the middle, the economic consequences of the employee, Kyrie Irving, versus the economic consequence of the business of Amazon appear to be different, though the offense is the same. And so if we look at the net profits and we look at the net losses, we must ask ourselves, do people pay differently when they're able to withstand financial consequences associated with controversy? I've always said that a people with no capital in a capitalist economy will remain economically weak. Kyrie Irving is not a person with no capital. However, he is a person on payroll. And so freedom of speech in America is not freedom from economic consequences. And the question becomes, can you pay those? Now, in my comment section, when I posted a short video about this on Instagram, folks were like, hey, yo, kids! You can't compare an individual to a business. We can't hold businesses accountable. Well, let's talk about that, right? H&M dressed a black boy with a Monkey in the Jungle t-shirt. Gucci, a few years ago, had models walking down their aisle with blackface. Starbucks employees made questionable decisions about calling the police on 2 black men who were there as patrons, and we boycotted those businesses. Are you saying then, comment warriors, that boycotting those businesses wouldn't be effective because businesses can't be held accountable? Businesses absolutely can be held accountable. Businesses are held accountable every day by their customers who pay them to keep their doors open. And so again, the question becomes, where does accountability start And where does accountability end? Everyone watching this should learn how to acquire capital outside of being on payroll. And even if you never wanted to be an entrepreneur, it's important that you understand the way that business works, because the tax code for businesses was set up for them to win and employees to pay. Let's move on to the next topic, which is Diddy's birthday, where he was gifted a diamond chain. Now, if you're from the South like me, you already know that people flex with their cars, they flex with their chains, and they flex with their teeth. Not the ones that God gave them, but the gold fronts. Holla at your girl. I don't have them. Young Miami gifted Diddy with a diamond chain. Now, some folks will be like, girl, are you crazy? Because y'all are not in a monogamous relationship and he has not done what, Beyonce? Put a ring on it. However, personally, I love the chemistry between these two. It just seems so authentic. It seems like he genuinely makes her happy and she genuinely makes him happy. But the purpose of this segment is to talk about how you can live this type of diamond chain life in real life on your regular budget. So this love pendant is a baguette from Benny the Ben jeweler. Oh, but how can you live that in your life now today? One of the gifts that I love seeing a celebrity gift their loved one was when Ari Fletcher purchased land from Moneybagg Yo. Do you remember that headline? She purchased 28 acres of land for her boyfriend. What? Listen. Property already appreciates regardless of where you live 3 to 5% annually, which is why realtors will always tell you don't wait to buy land and wait, because that bad boy will increase in value over time. And we already know the way the inflation has been hitting our pockets. So when you're thinking about the gifts that you want to gift your people, think about things like maybe you could purchase a share of stock for them. One site that I love to gift stocks is Stockpile. And you can also purchase cheap land at sites like landwatch.com for your loved ones. You can find plots of land on there for as cheap as $1,000, $2,000. All right, you don't have to purchase 28 acres of land like Ari Fletcher did. Also think about purchasing real estate for them by investing in a real estate investment trust. One of the real estate investment trusts that I really like is Realty Income, because they purchase land and they lease it to businesses that you probably patronize on a regular basis, like Rite Aid, CVS, Planet Fitness, and even 7-Eleven. So let's move on to the next topic. So let me start by offering my condolences to friends and family of Takeoff that may be watching this video. It is heartbreaking whenever I see in the news any person passing away at the hands of senseless murder. But as a Black woman, when I see Black people murdered, it always affects me at the deepest of my core. And I'm sure there are others who watch this that are fans of his music and really relate and identify with the work that he did while he was alive as a musical talent. Black men deserve to grow old. So rest in peace, Takeoff. If you're listening to this and you own assets and or you have children, this is what I want you to do right now, today. I want you to get yourself prepared for the one thing that will inevitably happen in your life, and that is death. You want to make sure that you have a will or an estate plan. A will allows for you to leave instructions about what you want to do with your assets, your car, your house, your jewelry, your crypto, your NFTs when you pass. In the absence of a will, the court determines how those assets are divided in your absence. At least with a will, you will still have to go to court, but the court will use that document as a guide in order to determine how to disseminate those assets. And if you're a parent, think about if a judge who you've never met had to make decisions about who has custody of your child. It could be whoever comes to the court and lays claim to that child. You know the relationship that you have with the mother of your child, father of your child, auntie of your child, uncle of your child, grandparents of your child. Some of you all grew up in terrible homes, and you would never want your kid to be raised by the people who raised you. A will allows for you to leave those instructions to let the court know who should take care of your child in your absence. When Nipsey Hussle died, he did not have a will. He did not have an estate plan. So the court really had to decide what to do with his oldest child. When he was alive, he didn't want the mother of his child to have full custody. We don't know the details there. When he died, he couldn't necessarily go to court and say to the judge, please honor my wishes in my death. in the absence of a will. Let's also now talk about a trust, because a trust allows for you to transfer assets inside of that trust and manage it while you're still alive, which is fantastic, because that means that you don't have to wait until you're dead for the courts to decide how they will execute your final wishes. So the greatest thing about the trust is that you transfer that ownership into this entity, right? So now you own nothing, right? You may own some things, but you own nothing, but you can still control everything through your trust. Inside this trust, you could put your property, you could put your crypto, you could put financial accounts inside of this trust. And with this trust, you can also leave instructions. So maybe you know that your child may not be financially responsible by 18. You know them. They don't even want to pick up their clothes off the floor. They don't even want to wash the dishes. They don't even want to mow the lawn, and they're living up in your house rent free. So you can leave instructions inside of that trust saying that your child has to pass certain benchmarks or demonstrate certain aptitudes before they get access to the assets that you work so hard to accumulate. And so maybe for you, it's that they can inherit your home after they have acquired a real estate license. Or maybe they can inherit your multi-units after they have already saved $5,000 in their account and demonstrated that they have a 750 credit score. Maybe there's a financial account inside of your trust, and you say that your child cannot inherit this money until they graduate from high school, graduate from college, and they're employed gainfully for 3 years. And you can define what gainfully is. But here's the thing. You get to teach your child financial literacy and how to make good financial decisions, or at least make good decisions in their life that could put them on good financial footing in your absence if you happen to pass away prematurely or even pass away naturally. And perhaps one of the greatest benefits is that trusts are not adjudicated by the court. You don't die and the trust goes to the court and they say, okay, judge, read everything that I say and let me know what to do. No, you determine who the trustee is going to be when you pass away. And that trustee executes your wishes after you are gone. And even if you're single and you don't have kids, you don't have any children, you don't have any kids, you don't have a spouse, that's me, I don't have any kids, I don't have a spouse, but you still have assets, you want to make sure that you leave instructions there. Leave them there. Takeoff's estate is estimated to be $26 million. He died, assumedly, without children and also without a spouse. So if you're listening to this and you're saying, well, I don't have kids, I don't have any children, and I'm not married, why would I need a will, or why would I need a trust? Well, here's the answer. If you own assets, do you want those to go to your parents? Do you want that to go to your cousins? Do you want that to go to your aunt, your uncle? You want to make sure that that plan is in place so your family doesn't have to fight over your assets when you're not here. That is $26 million. How many family members do you think are going to come forward claiming a piece of Takeoff's estate? Click the subscribe button if you love this video. I want to continue creating content like this because I absolutely believe that we see those headlines and we think that the decisions that celebrities make are untouchable to the common folk. And I want to give you practical tips on how to get there.